Right, joining us to tell us more about the organization. Oh, goodness gracious me, right. Things go wrong sometimes. It's just as well you guys don't know about it. Today, we're shining a light on a unique and inspiring initiative, the Sibghah Literary Festival, the UK's first Muslim literary festival dedicated to young minds. It's a space designed to nurture creativity, storytelling, and critical thinking amongst young minds and young Muslims, bringing together voices from across the community, mashallah. Joining us today is two of the organizers behind this powerful project, Brother Naeem and Sister Lamya, mashallah, joining us today. Assalamu alaikum to both of you.
Alaikum salam.
How are you guys?
Very well.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. Brother Naeem, for the viewers hearing about this initiative for the first time, what is the vision behind the festival?
So the Sibghah Literary Festival for Young Minds, which is the first Muslim festival for young minds, and that's the operative word there. This was something that we did on the weekend in Manchester, where we had authors, where we had storytellers and illustrators speak to youngsters in the age of 11 and 20, in their 20s. So slightly, but we did split them. So we had a combination of university professors, manga illustrators.
I love manga.
We had an author from Palestine who spoke about writing during a genocide. We had somebody who had a very rich history, academically of mythology and how, you translate that. There was somebody who came up with ideas on how to tell the stories of, wanting to visit the holiest places of our faith. The basic thing was actually teaching young people the importance of reading, because it is all reading before leading, and it's sadly very easy to mislead people who don't read.
Yes,
for the want of a better
that's
word.
a whole new story in itself.
As an organization, as a British Muslim organization committed to advocacy, spirituality, getting civic engagement and all of that, our focus has been on young people, and we thought one very important thing is to make sure that they are aware of their world. And one crucial thing is reading. I don't know. It's the reading week thing that's being promoted by policymakers at the moment. I don't know if you know that there is a massive decline. I think 2025 was record decline in reading amongst the age of 11 to 18.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, so there used to be a time when Orwell would say, we need to fear people who ban books. And then Aldous Huxley came up with saying, well, that's not the real problem. Now you need to be careful about, well, there are no books to ban because nobody wants to read.
Yes.
So it's very dystopian that way. So for us, it was very important that we get these young people to read more. So not only that they're knowledgeable, so that they also grow up to be conscientious, compassionate people. And that's the way we designed the program. It was not reading just for fun, but also with purpose. So, getting them to know history, heritage, but also very importantly, what is it that you can do through the art of storytelling to bring about positive change in communities.
I mean, what you said, I was going to pick up on that, the fact that it seems to be, because I used to be a teaching assistant for a number of years in a school in Milton Keynes, and a few of the kids, were reading books, but and a majority of them were not reading books. And I have kind of noticed on my day-to-day, ramblings that young people aren't reading as much as they used to. It seems to be as if it's a taboo, or it's seen as a bit square or a bit boring or nerdy to read books. So, but we're focusing on young people in the Muslim community as well. Why do you think, with that as a backdrop, everything I've said there, why is this particular festival needed right now?
For a wide variety of reasons. Number one, to address the specific issue of the decline of reading. We need to address that really quickly. Secondly, as a community with everything that's going on, we have a laundry list of what's going on at the moment. If there is anything that you need for the young people to actually be ready to take on the needs, the challenges, the requirements of everything that we as communities face, we as a distinct identity face, people need to know things. And the best and the most solid foundational way to do that is to inculcate this habit of reading. So we had people who attended this, and this is where we were also surprised, because even the kids who came there, the last time we did this, we had young children, age of 12 and 13, who are published authors.
Wow,
This
yeah,
time we had
mashallah.
kids who actually wrote books or in the process of writing books. So this was this festival where we actually brought it. So we are giving people a platform. And people who are interested in this, we're actually telling them, using these authors, how to make, this skill that is something that you can learn. And if there's a spark, we would be more than happy to be the ones who actually light that spark.
Because I think it is a shame, the decline in the kind of interest, because because of doom scrolling on one's phone, social media is so easily accessible. You don't have to do anything to access it. You just sit there. My granddaughter, she will just keep watching stuff over and over again unless I turn it off. So it's very attractive and it's very alluring, and I know it's something that kids can easily get into. What kind of an impact are you hoping that this festival are going to have long term?
So I think we are looking at a generation of people who are exceptionally aware of what the world is going through, and more importantly, aware of what it actually needs. So we don't want a generation of people who are just ready consumers of excellent content that maybe a very small pool of people are able to. We would like to create a generation of people who also create original content from a perspective of actually trying to create a massive difference in the lives, positive difference in the lives of people. We've noticed, and one very tangible thing that we've seen is, one from what we want to do is get people to say, good God, there's so many things that we need to catch up on. There's so many interesting things to learn. I wish I knew about this. Getting kids to say that was the biggest success. I wish I knew. Now I want to know. That journey for us was brilliant. And the examples we used, manga to illustrate, we used role play to illustrate. There were so many levers that we used to help these kids find out things for themselves. But more importantly, we were very insistent on making sure people found purpose, and that purpose was making themselves better and those around them better. And this can be done. A generation of great storytellers, positive storytellers, storytellers who are not afraid to ask the right questions, courageous questions, and who also question a lot of things. Well, just because it's been done this way, let me give you an example. There was a question about, when you look at the maps of the world, for example, we always think perspective. So when kids knew that these maps, the way the sizes of the countries relate to each other, they're not really representative. That's when kids say, well, that means there's a lot of things that we think or are being told that's true may not necessarily be true.
So,
and this was not a very conspiratorial tone. This was very logical thinking, very critical thinking, asking critical questions. We were very surprised, and the authors who came that day, they were quite impressed. So we were very happy.
Mashallah.
And as far as feedback is concerned, our benchmark was this: the amount of detail that parents and students came to us with feedback. Can we do this? Can we do this? It's easy for organizers, oh, I wish we did. No, it's great that those who attended want us to do more and are also giving us direction of what they want. So we were very happy.
Beautiful. Lamya, I want to turn to you now. Assalamu alaikum, sister. How are you? Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, I'm good.
Could you walk us through a typical day at the literary festival? What does it look like, a typical day?
Yeah, of course. We plan the session. We plan the day to be to feel like a journey for the kids or for the young people. We wanted them to be immersive in the sessions. So we started with an inaugural session, which was the inaugural address was done by Dr. Hani Al-Banna, who was the co-founder of the Islamic Relief. He rather than giving a conventional speech, he started with asking questions to the young people, like what is the aim of your life? What is life? And if you have an aim, does it serve the community, or do you have an aim that will help your community? So that was the kind of question asked by Dr. Hani, and which I think set the tone of the whole event, So the young people who came in, they were just not for reading or meeting the authors or not just to develop reading, but they were asked these questions to think and reflect upon. So we had this amazing inaugural session, and then we divided as Naeem already told, we divided the kids between 11 to 14. We had a whole session planned for them, and then the other age group was 15 to 23, and we had and for the younger kids it was more of a hands-on sessions like workshops and role plays and stuff like that. And for the bigger kids, there were more of critical thinking and questionings and discussions. So yeah, so that was the day like on Sibghah.
Dr. Hand is very inspirational. He's so animated. He's so full of energy. When you can see why he's done the things he's done. Just his personality alone is so powerful that it's hardly surprising that he's going to be involved in something like this to inspire the next generation of writers and designers, what have you. What makes this particular festival different from others?
So as I said, it was not a passive session, and each session was curated so much that we wanted the kids to get something from each session. So we had different types of sessions. For example, we had this Bangladeshi author, Burhana Islam, who asked the kids to start dreaming and plan from now itself, and then start with small steps and start with big duas. So this creativity or these discussions is always along with the faith. So you don't want to keep your faith apart from these, this creativity or storytelling. So it's always rooted in faith and purpose. And we had other sessions like from the author Sarah Khan, who helped the kids to imagine their journey to 3 beautiful mosques or 3 sacred mosques, and they did their illustration, they imagined, they created stories. And there was another session where Sarah Al-Waisi made them do role plays about the young leaders. And we had one other session, as Naeem already told, about the Palestinian author, Iman. Iman, she's a Gaza survivor. She's in exile now. So her story, hearing from the first hand, it made our kids or our young people really think, and the storytelling becomes our responsibility when these journalists are getting killed, or when their histories are being erased. And there was the other side where the older young people, we had these sessions like about media influence and halal slop by William Barillo. He asked the young people to question what you see online, and he started putting these questions in their mind about these halal branding of everything. So that was like I had this feedback from the young people, like that was a eye-opening for them. And we had these other sessions like Naoki, who had done this manga. He's the manga artist from Japan. And we had Professor Salman Saeed, who discussed this critical thinking, and one more was Marcella Ward, who explained the critical imagination for a better world. So so each session was entirely different, and people get different things from each session. So that's the main thing we wanted from these.
Naeem was vigorously nodding his head while you were talking. Anything you want to add to this particular point in terms of the day-to-day?
I mean, for me, the biggest, I was most excited when I saw kids vigorously writing. I know we all talk about it's given that, but for them to start expressing their ideas and for it to flow, to see that process and to see these authors also commend them and actually, discover those sparks was brilliant. And all these authors, they come with this very unique individual perspective. So all the kids had a great mixture. So no session was similar. So that was one thing. And I thought, having a genocide survivor speak about, you can still write, you can still dream in the midst of the most horrible thing was a very, very powerful. And these were young children who their sense and level of empathy was a massive learning for adults and volunteers like us. And we realized the importance of the work that we did.
SubhanAllah. Lamya, you mentioned manga and you mentioned Gaza. I mean, people wouldn't necessarily put the two together. Why was it important and why was the decision made to incorporate those two very different, very disparate elements as part of the festival in terms of that learning tool, so to speak?
You know, the young people do their storytelling in different formats, you know. Some like reading books, some like poetry, some like manga and anime. So if we just focus on reading, we would be like leaving a lot of them behind. So we wanted a kind of all-inclusive. It's more about, it's not just about the media or format. It's the meaning or the content.
Yes.
Rather than
the
just reading books, or you know, so we want to include all the diverse way of storytelling and introduce it to the young kids, so that some, like if it's manga, some like visual art, you know, some like drawing. So we want to include all of them. That was the main reason that we wanted to include diverse kinds of
I think
storytelling.
it's wise because manga and anime is obviously huge. I love this stuff. I love Totoro. I love all, you know, Howl's Moving Castle, all of that stuff. It's just, you know, I think it's very good idea to include those modern elements, those very popular elements as well. If people want to get involved in this festival, anyone who can answer this, how do they get involved? Where do they need to go in terms of social media?
So we have social media handles on Instagram, Facebook. So it will be like Instagram, I think it's strive.uk.org. And Strive UK on Facebook as well, and I think we have Twitter handles as well.
So Strive UK.org. Yeah.
Okay, say that again clearly.
Strive UK.org.
Strive.uk. Thank you very much, both of you, Lamya and Naeem. Thank you so much for coming in. Wish we had more time because this is my thing as well.
No, thank you.
MashaAllah. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Jazakallah. Right, friends at home, I got to go now, but you guys take care of yourselves. See you soon. Assalamu alaikum.